11. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Dale Carnegie. There is no such thing as a good or bad memory for names. There is only a good or a bad strategy. In this chapter, you are going to learn strategies that can make a huge difference to your name memory. Make a commitment today to improve. It is a commitment that will provide you with numerous benefits and save you from many embarrassing situations. In Chapter 3, I showed you the self-fulfilling circle. Get rid of your limiting beliefs about your name memory and start to focus on finding a strategy that can help you. Become motivated and interested in names and how we brand people according to that name. Imagine you meet a person and they say that they will give you $1 million if you could remember their name a week from today. Would you then remember it? Of course you would. We are all brilliant at names if we are motivated enough to hold on to them. The methods that I will be sharing with you have been used for centuries. They require you to think differently and to use your incredible associating mind. Some people say that they have tried association to remember names, and it doesn't work for them. It doesn't work if you don't practice. Nothing in life works unless you work with it. All the memory champions are using association methods and can easily remember about 100 names in less than half an hour. I believe that if you copy the strategies of the champions, you can get the same results. And if you don't, you won't. The untrained memory is not very reliable. The average person leaves their memory to chance, hoping that the name will somehow stick. The strategies that I will share with you work. Use them. Now, if you want to remember names like a memory master, you have to focus on the 4 C's. 1. Concentrate. When you meet someone with the same name as you, do you remember their name? Yes, because you are interested in that name. You always hear it, and your attention is at a peak. The name has meaning to you, and you also connect it to yourself. If you follow this basic strategy with every person that you meet, you will remember their names. When we get introduced to people, they normally say their names so quickly that nobody can get it. Take control of the introduction to be able to really get the name you have, to slow down the introduction. Put your elephant ears on and really hear the name. Make remembering names something that is important to you. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, "A person must get a thing before they can forget it." You need to really hear the name first. If you don't hear something, you will not remember it. You have to first get it to turn it into a memory. If you hear the name and repeat it back to the person, you will improve your recall. If you don't hear the name, ask the person to say it to you again. And if it is a difficult name, ask the person to spell the name too. Listen and get genuinely interested in the other person's name. We are normally so worried about being interesting that we forget to be interested. When you become interested, you will want to listen to the name. Learn to listen to people from their perspective and not your own. Not only will it improve your name memory, but your social intelligence too. Create. You have to create an image for the name in your mind to be able to recreate it later. Have you ever heard people say, "I know the face, but I can't remember the name"? You never hear people say, "The face is on the tip of my tongue." We remember faces because they form an image in our mind. The names don't normally stick because we try to remember it with our auditory memory or our little voice. It doesn't make sense to try to stick a sound to a vision. Of course, it won't stick. Plus, auditory memories are never as solid as visual memories. To hold on to a memory, we must make an image out of the name. Remember how we created images out of names when we learned the presidents? When you give a name meaning, you can then hold on to it. When you put a name into your mind and you don't do anything with it, it will disappear and you won't be able to find it again. This is because working memory doesn't store information. So to store it, you need assistance from your short and long-term memory. You have to really think about the name to remember it, because we only remember what we think about. When you are introduced to someone, you only have 20 seconds to think about the name and make an association. If you don't do anything with the name in 20 seconds, the name will be gone. The more connections and meaning you can give the name, the more it will stick. Some of the names will naturally create a picture, like the surnames Baker, Cruz, or Gardner. My surname is Horsley, so you can think of a horse and Bruce Lee. My first name is Kevin, and it sounds like cave in, making it easy to create an image and meaning out of my name. Other names may be more difficult, but by using a bit of creativity, any name can be given meaning and turned into a picture. Connect. Remember that all learning is creating a relationship between the known and the unknown. You will already know the face, so you need to connect the unknown name to the known face. When you see the face, it must act as a trigger or peg to bring the name to your awareness. Here are some methods to make the connection. All the methods you learn here take a great deal longer to explain than to use. With this method, you connect the person to a name that you already know. Let's say we meet a person by the name of George. To make the name stick, we think of someone that we already know with the same name. Do you know another George? You may even think of someone famous with the same name, like George Clooney. Now, all we do in our mind is compare the two people. What color hair does the George that we are meeting have? What color is the other George's hair? By comparing this one feature, you will be paying more attention than you would have before, therefore making a stronger connection. Compare as many different features as you can, and you will focus your attention and create a long-term impression for perfect recall. It is as simple as that. Just compare the two faces in your mind and you will remember them. Impact your memory even more by imagining the person with two heads, their own, and that of the person you already know with the same name. I like this method because it helps you to both remember the new person, as well as reinforce the other name too. This method only takes a few seconds to help you remember the person's name forever. We are using the memory principle of taking a long-term name and using it to remember the short-term new name. Some people ask, what happens if you don't have a similar name to compare to? We can then use one of the other methods that I will be showing you now. Find a system that works best for you. With this method, you make a link between the name and an outstanding feature on the person's face. Every person's face is unique, and every face has an outstanding feature. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are introduced to a woman, and the first thing you notice about her face is that she has striking blue eyes. That will then be her outstanding feature. When she gives you her name, you will then have a place to put the name. Imagine she says her name is Janice. You then make an image of the name. Janice sounds like chain ice. You then make the connection and think of a chain of ice flying out of her blue eyes. Here is another example. Imagine you meet a man and you notice that he has a big nose and his name is Peter. Turn the name into a picture. You can then imagine a pea eater. Then quickly make the connection that his nose is a big pea eater. By making a silly, memorable association, you will connect the face and the name together. With this method, never tell anybody what you have done in your mind. It is personal and some people may become offended. I remember once meeting a woman by the name of Hazel. She asked me how I remembered her name, so I told her. Big mistake. I said, I thought of a hazelnut. She was not impressed. Remember, most people identify with their names. They like it and consider it as their own unique brand. If you make fun of it, you are making fun of them. A few questions that people ask about this system are, what happens if I meet 4 people and all of them have an outstanding nose? Searching for the outstanding feature helps you focus on the face, as you may never have done before. Most people never really look at the person when they are meeting them. So the feature is more about directing your focus on the face and making a connection. I have done a demonstration where I have remembered over 100 names in half an hour using this method. When you meet 100 people, you use many of the same features, but amazingly, there is never any confusion. Go to Facebook to practice this method. There are millions of faces to choose from. Can I connect the name to the clothes of a person? Yes, but only if you notice the person's face too. People change clothes, but their faces are unique and don't change much. What happens if I find it hard to make a mental picture of the person's name? You can imagine writing their name on their forehead. Make sure you use a big fat red mental pen. It is all about creativity. If you create their name in your mind, you will remember the name with as much ease as you remember the face. Meeting, location, connection. When we meet people for the first time, we tend to also remember the place that we first met them. The place makes a clear impression in our memory, but the name is nowhere to be found. With this method, we connect the name to the place where we meet the person. We are using a journey peg to hold on to the name. Let's say we meet a woman by the name of Rose. Ask yourself, what will I remember about this place where I meet her? Let's say you think you will remember the buffet table. You then connect a big red rose to it, and when you think of the place, you will think of her name. 4. Continuous use. If you concentrate and get the name, then make it meaningful and connect it to the person, then this will enable you to remember the name for the short term. However, to make the name stick in your memory forever, you have to continue using it. Talk about the name. If it is a foreign name, ask the person what it means. How do you spell it? Also, use the name in conversation. The more you talk about the name, the less you will be relying on working memory, and you will begin to store it. In your mind, ask yourself, what is that person's name again? Get the answer, and then ask yourself, does that feel right? Try to strengthen the association during the course of the day or evening. Review the name. Create a names folder in your diary, on your computer, or on your mobile phone of people that you would like to remember. Invite people you want to remember to one of your social networking sites so that you can review their names. Review the names often to keep them in your long-term memory. It is just a question of writing the name down and where you met the person. Look at the list every now and again, and you will have a massive name memory filing system. You will never be caught off guard for a name again. You can use these methods to remember hundreds of people at one meeting. They are all designed to improve your focus of attention, because when you remember others, they make a point of remembering you. Chapter 12, Remembering Numbers. Group a list of letters together and you have a word that represents something, an image, an emotion, a person. Throw a few numbers together and you have another number. Dominic O'Brien. Numbers have become an important part of our lives, yet no one has shown us how to remember them. You can use external memory devices to remember numbers, and you can choose to outsource your brain. But if you are in business and you can recall facts and figures without referring to your external brain or notes, then it builds trust and certainty. When you remember facts and figures, it builds confidence in your memory, it builds mental strength, and it is like gym for your brain. If you call out digits, the average person will only remember about 7 digits forwards and only 4 to 5 backwards. If you have a trained memory, there are no limits. I can remember a 50-digit random number in less than 20 seconds and 100 digits in 45 seconds. I have taken my number memory far beyond all the limits that have been set in that area. Any person can produce the same results if they know the strategy. If you practice the methods and take pride in improving your memory, you can also develop these superhuman powers. Many people try to repeat numbers over and over again, trying to hold on to the number for dear life. They do more of what they have always done to try to improve their recall. We don't only improve with practice. If you repeat a bad habit over and over, it just gets worse. You also need a new method. We could use the number shape method to hold on to smaller numbers. But the method I'm about to show you has so many more possibilities and applications. What is easier to remember? 1. American presidential candidates, or 2. 3472901157211. It is obviously American presidential candidates. It is easily understood. As soon as you say it, you memorize it. It has meaning and makes a visual image in your mind. The number has no meaning, and it is not very memorable. So to remember numbers, you need to give them more meaning. The systems that the memory masters use vary, but most of them use a system where you change the numbers into words and then into images. We take the numbers and twist them into shapes so that they form letters. Then we turn the letters into words. This system seems like a lot of work, but once you have your code down, it will make the process of remembering numbers a breeze. The code almost memorizes itself. Stick with it and open your mind to a whole new language. It is also a great way to exercise your verbal and numerical intelligence at the same time. Let's get started with learning the number code. Just go with this process, it will all come together in a moment. Let us begin with the vowels A, E, I, O, and U. These letters have no value. They act as fillers or blanks. The letters W, H, and Y are also fillers or blanks. They also have no value. Just remember that for now. Now see the numbers in the following letters. Is the S, Z, or C sound? S sounds like the hissing of a wheel, which looks like 0. 1 represents the T or D sound. 2 is the M sound. If I make the word tomatoes, what will the number be? T, 1, O, no value, M, 3A, no value, T, 1, O, no value, E, no value, and S, 0. The number would be 10. What word could you make for 3, 1? 3, 2, N, and 1, D or T. We have the letters M and T or M and D. If we add the vowel I, we have the word mint. Or if we add a D at the end and the vowel E, we have mend. Or try the vowel A and add a Y. Then you can make the name Mandy. It is like learning a new number language. 4 is the R sound. 5 is the L sound. 6 is the J, sh, soft sh, or soft G sound. What word can you make with 6 and 54? Jailer. 7 is the KC sound. 8 is the F or V sound. 9 is the B or P sound. Looks like the mirror and upside down image of 9. If I say cave, what is the number? 78. What word can you make with the number 98? Beef. Now you can see that the number 3472-9401-215-721-110 is as easy as remembering American president. Do you now see how you can use this to remember any number? You may be saying, but now I have to remember a number and a word. No, it is like learning how to read. In the beginning, you really have to work hard to encode the information, but then it becomes easy. Think of the number 007, instantly you think of James Bond. We are trying to create the same experience with all numbers that you want to remember. We remember concrete information with ease, so you are not remembering more. You are just making it more memorable. Let me know when you're ready to continue with Chapter 13, or if you'd like me to repeat, clarify, or help with anything else. It will take a bit of time to master, but once you have it, you will have it forever. I will now give you a list of words for each number from 1 to 100. This method is great because you don't have to worry about spelling. It works on sounds. 00. Sauce, 01. Soda, sun, 03. Swim, 04. 05. Seal, 7. Sock, 08. Safe, 9. Soap, 1. Tie, 2. Noah, 3. Ray, 5. Law, 6. 8. Foe, UFO, 9. Bee, toes, 11. Dad, 12. Tan, 13. 14. Deer, 15. Tail, 16. Dish, 17. Duck, 18. Dove, 19. Tape, 20. Nose, 21. Net, 23. Gnome, silent G, 25. Nail, 26. Nosh, neck, 28. Navy, 29. Nap mouse, 31. Moon, 34. Mower, 35. Male, mash, 37. Mafia, 39. Map, 40. Rose, 41. Rat, 42. Ram, 44. Rower, reel, 46. Rash, 47. Rock, 48. Roof, 49. Rope, 50. Lassie, 1 S sound, 51. 52. Lion, 53. 4. Lorry, 1 R sound, 55. Lily 6, 57. Lock, 58. Leaf, 59. Liveth, 61. Jet, 62. Chain, 64. Chair, jail, 66. Cha-cha, 67. Shake, 68. 69. Jeep, case, 71. Cat, 72. Can, 73. Comb, 74. 75. Coal, 76. Cash, 77. Coke, 78. 79. Cab, 80. Face, 81. Fat, 83. Fire, 85. Foil, 86. Fish, 88. Woof woof, 89. FBI, 90. Bus, 91. Bat, 93. Bum, bear, 95. Ball, 1L6. Beach, 97. Back, 98. 99. Baby, 100. Daisies. If you don't like some of the above words, make up your own. Not only can you use this method to remember numbers, but it can also be used as a very effective giant peg memory system. This peg list memorizes itself. Memorize 10 a day. Let's say you want to memorize 10 to 15. For 10, the word is toes. Think of the 1 as T and the 0 as S, then add vowels to make the word toes. Make a clear image of toes in your mind. For 11, think of the digits 1, 1, that is D and D. Now fit in a vowel and we have dad. See it clearly in your mind. When we get to 15, we can make the word doll. Remember, the system works with the sounds of the word, so the LL sounds like one L. I prefer to use the word tail. There are many advantages to knowing this method of memory. You can use it to learn 100 bits of information easily and in order. Once you have these values, you can remember any numbers and there is no limit. When each number represents an image, you can hold the number in your mind and place it on a system to remember as many numbers as you choose. I have also used this method to remember athletic and sports statistics, stock prices, and any key information relating to numbers. This method also works well to remember important dates in history. I enjoy remembering dates because it links historical events to a timeline. Once this information is in your memory, it is easy to correlate it to other events. With this method, I am able to remember up to 100 dates in 5 minutes. Plus, this is just another method that allows you to trap your thoughts and make information easier to recall. Here is how dates are remembered. 1926, television was first demonstrated. The way I remember this one is to only remember the last 3 digits, because most of the dates we need to remember are all in the last 1,000 years. We take the 926 and use the code to make the word punch. Now, using the memory principles, we can imagine that you punch the television and it starts to work. 1969, people land on the moon. We can see a bishop, 9 and 69, on the moon. See a bishop walking on the moon and playing with the moon dust. 1901, the Nobel Prize was first awarded. We can imagine that the first prize was made of pasta, 901. 1942, the first computer was developed. We can imagine a computer that looks like a barn, 942. The first submarine was built. See the submarine being built very fast, 801. For 1784, the first newspaper was published. See caviar, 7R, all over the newspaper. This number method was developed in the 1700s by a man named Stanislaus Mink von Wenschein, who brought it to our conscious awareness. This method takes practice. You have to really work with it to make it work for you. Then there will be no limits to your number memory, and it will make you more knowledgeable. 13. Art in memory. Interest level is measured by how much you remember. Philip A. Bossert. In this chapter, I want to show you the power of turning information into art. All of the systems taught in this book can be enhanced by turning them into a drawing, painting, or picture. When you use more of your creativity, you will be using more of your memory. It is a very simple method. You take information and you simply turn it into some form of art, and the information is remembered forever. It grabs your attention and your mind won't let go. As I have said before, every word is a picture drawn with letters. Every word can conjure up an image that can be drawn, and pictures register very quickly in the brain. If an image can be presented in 3D, it adds to the visual impact, because that is the way things appear in the real world. You can achieve this by using Google Images, by getting an illustrator to make you drawings. You can cut out pictures from magazines, or you can just use doodles. Any art can help you to remember more. You can sculpt your information, you can paint it, or even act it out. The whole process is about creative remembering and becoming more associated and personally involved with the information. Use the power of Google Images to create memory diagrams. Place all the images in a Word or PowerPoint document and view it often, so that when you look at the picture, it creates instant learning. Let me give you 2 examples. The pictures below are not professionally drawn. It is just a whole bunch of Google Images placed together to make a linked picture. Have a look at the pictures and see how much registers in your mind. Link the pictures in a story, and it will create an even stronger connection. The more deeply you think about any information, the more you will remember it. This picture below is a memory diagram of the 12 cranial nerves that emerge directly from our brain. The link starts with a picture of an old factory, sounds like olfactory. The second picture is a tick to remind you of optic. The third picture is a motor with ice blocks on it. It is an icy cool motor, sounds like oculomotor. The fourth picture is a truck with clear written on it, which represents trochlear. The three gems are a reminder for trigeminal. 2 cents for abducens. A lady having a facial is for facial. Vest for vestibulocochlear. You can always add more to the picture if the vest doesn't trigger the whole word. The lip gloss is for glossopharyngeal. Elvis represents Las Vegas, so the word is Vegas. The earring is an accessory, and finally the hippo is for hypoglossal. These pictures are all short mental reminders or triggers to help you recall the main content. By looking, linking, and locking in the image, you will make the memory link stronger and easier to recall. Try it. The next example is a picture that will help you remember the first 10 elements of the periodic table. First, we have a shiny red fire hydrant, hydrogen, with helium-filled balloons, helium, tied to the top of the hydrant. The helium balloons are touching the light bulb, lithium. The light bulb is burning the different colored berries, beryllium. The berries are being eaten by a smelly wild boar, boron. A car with a bun attached to it, carbon, crashes into the boar. Behind the car bun is a knight, nitrogen, and out of his armor pops an oxygen tank, oxygen. The oxygen tank is being used by the man with flu, fluorine. The spluttering and sneezing flu man has a massive neon sign, neon, that blinks on and off behind him. Look at the picture again, make the links, and it will be installed in your memory. If you wanted to remember the entire periodic table, you could create a few pictures and it will all be installed. You can also use memory diagrams to help children remember spelling. Here are a few examples. Business. There are 2 snakes, 2 S's in the dessert. Here is a great way to clear up any confusion between homophones. He has a pear in his ear. The pair of shoes are flying through the air. Any information can be represented as a drawing, painting, photograph, or sculpture. Make an effort to turn key information that you need for your life into a picture so that you will be able to easily see it in your mind's eye. Use art to remember and have fun. Provided. Another great way to get your creative brain working for planning and remembering is mind mapping, registered trademark by Tony Buzan. Your memory system operates so quickly and effortlessly that you seldom notice it working. Daniel T. Willingham. One of the best ways to watch your mind and memory at work is through mind mapping. When you adopt this method into your life, it will change the way you think. It is a powerful way to organize information, to think on paper, and get more out of your head. Tony Buzan is the inventor of mind maps and has authored over 80 books. He created this amazing mind tool in the early 1970s, and the method has evolved into one of the world's most effective learning and thinking tools. Tony calls mind mapping the Swiss Army knife for the brain. It is not only a method for expanding your memory, but a way to improve your thinking skills. Mind mapping can be used for memorizing, learning, presenting, communicating, organizing, planning, meetings, negotiating, and all types of thinking. A mind map is a multisensory way of transferring your thoughts to paper. It is incredibly easy and simple to use. At first, it may take a bit of practice, but then your brain will remember how to have fun, and your life and learning will never be the same again. Mind maps are a wonderful way of structuring information so that you can see the big picture and the details. With linear notes, which are lists and lines, you will never have the flexibility that you have with mind maps. To be a successful mind mapper, all you need is the following. 1, your brain. 2, a blank piece of paper, the bigger the better, and turn it to landscape. 3, lots of colored pens and pencils. The best way to explain a mind map is to map something out. The mind map that I will be creating here is about all the systems that I have shared with you in this book. With every mind map, you start in the center of a blank page with a central image. This central image is what the whole mind map is about. Therefore, I will call this central image systems. As we now know, images are memorable and stimulate more creativity. Step 1. Step 2. Once you have your central image, then you connect branches to the central image and start branching out the headings. The main branches are all the memory systems we have covered. Step 3. Once we have our main branches, Then we can connect second and third level branches to give more detail to each main branch. We can add even more branches to the existing branches to help clarify ideas or give more detail. Remember to use only one word per branch. This aids your associating mind to bloom freely, and remember to add lots of images. Each main branch will also have one color. This helps visually to distinguish between different branches or content. A mind map can never end because your associating mind can always find just one more memory. Mind maps are entertaining. They are fun and make use of your creative brain. If you choose to stick with it, you will take your mind to a new level. You will improve your creativity, planning power, develop more of your brain, and increase your powers of memory and observation. You can use mind maps for a whole range of learning areas. They can be used very effectively to summarize large amounts of information and to get the gist of what is being communicated. Here is a mind map that I made of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You will notice that each main branch shows a concept that we remembered on the CAR list. This mind map summarizes the key content from Stephen Covey's whole book. I created this mind map with iMindMap software. You can go to www.imindmap.za and download your free version of iMindMap Basic today. There are many mind mapping computer programs out there, but nothing comes close to the flexibility and usability of iMindMap. Play with it, you will be surprised at how much you can achieve with this one thinking tool. Using the methods. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is a natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. Jim Rohn. Now that you know the fundamentals of the memory methods, you can succeed with any information. By being more creative with information, it helps increase your involvement with the content and makes it part of your reality, therefore improving your memory. In this chapter, I want to share with you how you can adapt the methods to remember almost anything. I will give you short guidelines on how to remember information word for word, remember presentations, how to get rid of your absent-mindedness, remember playing cards, and how to remember anything that you choose to study. 1. Remembering written information word for word. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Oscar Wilde. This is the method that I use to remember information word for word. If you work with this method, you will be able to remember any written information with ease. You can use it to remember quotes, poems, definitions, or verses from religious text. Remembering information verbatim can help you in presenting, negotiations, or meetings. You can also use it to hold on to information so that you can call upon it when you need a bit of inspiration. It is also helpful in exams to remember key definitions of key concepts. Remembering and reciting poems is also a great way to train your mind and improve your presentation ability. Many religious texts refer to the importance of holding verses in your heart so that you can live the lessons being taught. In this section, we will be using a quote called "Success" that has been attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson. The first element of this memory method is to find the keywords that will help you remember the rest of the text. Have a look at the keywords that I have picked out. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Once you have found your keywords, the next step is to create images out of them and place it on one of the systems that you have learned in this book. Remember, it is like your imagination is the pen and the system is the paper. You can use a journey, your body, a car, or anything that is already in your long-term memory. You can even link all the concepts together like you did with the presidents. Let me get you started. Let's use a tree to remember the key concepts. Why a tree? Because it represents growth for me, and it is in your long-term memory. Imagine the roots laughing and intelligent people, you can imagine Einstein, are sitting at the base of the tree. Imagine children hugging the trunk of the tree, affection of children, and on the branches you can imagine a nest, full of critics. You will notice that we have connected the first few keywords to your system, and with a bit of repetition, you will have it all in place. If you choose, you can continue to connect the rest of the information to the leaves, thorns, and the fruit, or to a park where the tree is planted. Once you have the key concepts, then you need to read through the material a few times. The key words will make the text stickier, and your knowledge of English will help you to remember the syntax. Make the material come to life, and you will remember more. My friend, the late great Creighton Carvello, memorized Ernest Hemingway's novel The Old Man and the Sea and each word's numerical position. For example, you might have asked him the sixth word on line 15 on page 8, and he could name it. He did not use rote learning. He used a method similar to the one I have just shown you. Like with anything in life, it takes a bit of practice to be able to remember text with ease. When you master this, you will be able to remember any information that you need for your business or your life word for word. Actors have also successfully used this method to remember their lines. When you really know the information, you can feel and act it out more comfortably as well. Part 2, presenting from memory. The human brain is a wonderful organ. It starts working as soon as you are born and doesn't stop until you get up to deliver a speech. George Jessel. Do you enjoy watching a presentation where the presenter hides behind a piece of paper or a screen and reads all the information to you? No. You want to see a human being making eye contact and communicating freely. The purpose of any presentation is to get your audience to understand, believe, and act on what you say. If you as a presenter can't remember your own content, how is your audience meant to remember it? If they can't remember it, they are not going to believe or act on it. Many people are afraid of public speaking. I believe that the fear has a lot to do with the fear of forgetting information. Many people say, I might hit a blank. The methods that you have already learned in this book will provide you with a solution. If you work with the methods, you will never blank. Out again. I have been giving professional presentations for 15 years now, and the last thing on my mind is the fear of forgetting information. When I present, I use the memory strategies, and the information is always there waiting for me to deliver it. I can also clearly remember jokes, slides, research, points that other people have said, and all my prepared content. I can loop back to any questions asked and be certain in my delivery. When you really remember the information, it builds confidence, and you will look like you know what you're talking about. Presentation power is memory power. You can eliminate the fear of forgetting by using memory methods like the journey, body, car, peg list, drawing your own pictures, or making mind maps. Take charge and control of your content, because without notes, you will look more professional in your delivery. When you present with the memory methods, it is like you are reading from a teleprompter. You are not learning the information word for word, but you are clearly remembering the structure. If you don't move an audience, you are not managing your content correctly. Great presenters know that audiences tend to remember the first and last bits of the presentation. Therefore, they make their introduction and conclusion powerful and outstanding. They make their introductions more outstanding by opening with a memorable demonstration, question, fact, quote, or a meaningful story. They also continually link information to the audience, making it more outstanding and keep repeating the main points. You can design your presentation with this floor principle in mind. In a presentation, we tend to remember F, first things, L, last things, O, outstanding information, O, own links, R, repeated information. If you use this principle, you will get your audience to remember more, making your presentation more enjoyable. If you have a clear structure installed in your head, it will be easier to move your audience. You will look more confident, and you will be a much more powerful presenter. 3. Absent minds. Is the object lost, or are you lost? Anonymous. Have you ever had this experience? You are sitting in your room and you think, I'm going to make chicken for dinner. You then walk to the kitchen, and when you get there, you think, what am I doing here? You may even open the refrigerator door, thinking the refrigerator will provide you with your answer. Or have you ever parked your car and you can't find it when you get back? Have you ever wondered if you had taken your vitamins or other medication? And don't you just hate it when you put your car keys down and when you need them, you can't find them? If any of this has ever happened to you, then you are normal. Yes, normal. This all happens because familiarity breeds forgetfulness. All of our routines sometimes create a state of autopilot, and we often don't attend to what we are doing. The good news is that 95% of the time, you are not absent-minded. You remember where you put your car keys, you could find your car again, and you didn't put your pants in the fridge. Yet we beat ourselves up for the mistakes we make 5% of the time. If you keep your focus on your absent-minded moments, you are going to create more absent-mindedness. Start to catch your memory doing things right, and you will start to see improvements. It has been estimated that people squander 40 days annually trying to remember things they've forgotten. People are becoming increasingly absent-minded as they struggle to cope with constant streams of information from mobile phones, the internet, radio, and television. With all our technology and systems in place, we should be more at peace, but we seem busier and more stressed than ever. As a result, we are regularly misplacing items or forgetting people's names. We are living in an activity illusion and keeping our minds full of busyness. No wonder we are absent-minded. Making excuses for your absent-mindedness doesn't solve anything. So what is the solution? When you put items down, like your car keys, you need to bring yourself back to the present moment. Ask yourself questions like, when am I going to use this next? Or say to yourself, I am putting the keys on the table. Or you could imagine that your keys are exploding the table. Try anything different to bring yourself back to the moment. Most things in life can be solved with more responsibility and awareness. In Chapter 4, I talked about being all there. When you start to single task instead of trying to do 100 things at once, then you will start to be more focused. Take action today. Clear the clutter. Get organized. Think on paper. Bruce Sterling said, "Chaos is the sexiest excuse for laziness ever invented." Creating systems and using habitual places to put your items will save you massive amounts of time. Do yourself a favor and stop trying to get attention for your absent-mindedness. I hear you protesting. Well, why do you tell other people about these incidents if you didn't get attention for it? Decide today to rather bring yourself back to the power of now and pay more attention to the moment. Remembering playing cards. Without a method, the average person will only be able to remember about half a pack of cards in 30 minutes, if they are lucky. The average person doesn't have a way of trapping thoughts, so they are never really certain of what they know. With the method that I am about to teach you, you will be able to remember a shuffled pack in a few minutes. With the same method, I have been able to remember a pack in 45 seconds. With a bit of practice, you will be able to do the same. Remembering cards has many mental benefits. It is a great way to train your memory. It can help you in card games like blackjack and bridge. Plus, it has the added bonus of being a great demonstration of your memory power. Knowing what you have already learned in this book, you now know that to remember something well, you need to bring it to life. So how do you bring cards to life? First, we must create a picture for each card. Each card must have its own identity so that you can distinguish it from the others, and then place it on a long-term place or system. You can associate each card with a person that you know, or you can make all the diamond cards celebrities, all the heart cards your family, spade cards people you work with, and the club cards your friends. That would be one way of organizing it. With the system that I use, you will need to know the number code system from Chapter 12. The card system works in the same way as with numbers. Only this time, the first letter of each suite will start the name of each card. E.g., the 3 of diamonds will be D for diamonds and 3 equals M. Add a vowel and you have damn. All the diamond cards will start with a D. All the hearts will start with H, etc. And then you just add the converted number to the end of the card. Here are all the images for all the suites. Diamonds date, aces 1. 2, Dan 3, Dam 4, Door 5, Deal 6, Dish 7, Duck 8, Dove 9, Deep 10 dice, 10 will be 0 sound. J diamond, jacks will always be the image of the suite. K ding, with kings we use a word with ing in it. Q dean, with queens we use a rhyming word. Heart, a hat, 2, hen 3, ham 4, hare 5, hail 6, hash brown, 7, hack, 8, hoof, 9, hoop 10, house J. Heart, jacks will always be the image of the suite. K, hinge. With kings, we use a word with ing in it. Q, your queen of hearts. Spades. A, sit. 2 and 3, Sam, Uncle Sam. 4, sir. 5, seal. 6, sash, sack. 8, safe. 9, soap. 10, C's. J, spade. Jacks will always be the image of the sweet. K, sing. With kings, we use a word within it. Q, steam. With queens, we use a rhyming word. Clubs. A, cat. 2, can. 3, camo, camouflage. 4, car. 5, coal. 6, cash. 7, 8, cafe. 9, cap. 10, case. J, club. Jacks will always be the image of the sweet. K, king. With kings, we use a word with ing in it. Q, cream. With queens, we use a rhyming word. Let's practice. Imagine a king bashing down the door and entering your house. He finds some ham and duck to eat in your fridge. With that silly story, you remembered 5 cards. King of clubs, 4 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, 3 of hearts, and 7 of diamonds. Easy, isn't it? Once you have created images for each of the cards, you will have to get to know them. It will take a bit of time practicing getting the card to automatically turn into the image, but with time, it will become second nature. To remember the whole shuffled pack, you then create a journey of 52 places, and you store each character on the journey, or you can link the cards together. These methods are not tricks. You are just using the memory fundamentals, and therefore maximizing more of your memory potential. This is Memory Gym. The more you work with it, the more your overall memory will improve. It is a way to practice your memory skills. I know many people are not going to put in the effort to remember cards, but at least now you know how. This is just another example of how these methods can be applied to solve any memory problem. 5. Studying anything. Learning new information isn't helpful unless it can be recalled later. Anything that increases one's memory power increases access to everything learned. Richard Restak, MD. There is no learning without memory. The more you can enhance your memory, the better you will be able to learn. In every course, there is some theory that needs to be remembered. The quicker you can get the theory down, the more time you can spend on practicing the information. Many of the first and second year university subjects are mostly memory-based. If you have a strong memory system in place, you will succeed in anything that you choose to study. There are a few things you should consider to enhance your performance in your area of study. First, never learn just to pass an exam. What is the purpose of doing well in an exam and not knowing what you have learned 2 weeks later? Learning is not a destination. It is a continuous process. All the A students that I have ever interviewed prepare and plan their learning. They do little bits over time and don't stress before the exam because all the hard work has already been done. All the F students overdose on energy drinks the night before and stress their way through the information hoping it will stick for the exam. So break your learning down and master the material over time. Before you study anything, make sure you have a strong pick, purpose, interest, and curiosity in mind. Review Chapter 4 to get more details on the pick principle. Your vision will determine how much energy you will have for your learning and how hard you will be willing to work. When studying, it is also important to take breaks, as our mind can remain focused for only so long before we become unproductive and tense. When you return from a break, you will feel refreshed and do more work in less time. Every 35 to 40 minutes, take a break, take a walk, and get away from whatever you're working on and give your mind a rest. Get an overview and analyze the material that you have to cover. Mark out all the areas that you need to remember. In any subject, the same concepts keep coming up, so make images for these key concepts and create an image vocabulary. This is so that you don't have to keep on finding images for information that you have already created. Then create a memory system that will work for each section and store the information. Record your systems and go through them a few times to make sure you have all the content in your head. I have had students that have used one shopping center to remember their entire syllabus. Using the methods shared in this book, you will never have the experience of not being able to get information into your head again. No matter what information you need to learn, these methods can be adapted so that you can find a solution and make the information sticky. I have helped thousands of people to learn all kinds of material for school and university. I have helped medical students, law students, pilots, policemen, nurses, medical reps, miners, ornithologists, marketers, and engineers. There isn't an area of study that won't benefit from these methods. These methods have no limits. The only limits are the excuses and judgments that you may place on them with your whining mind. Some people say, "I'm not creative and I don't make pictures." When I hear people say that to me, all I hear is, "I'm too lazy to put in the effort." If you choose to believe in limits, you will live a limited life. Part 3. Continuous use. Habits begin as offhanded remarks, ideas, and images, and then, layer upon layer, through practice, they grow from cobwebs into cables that shackle or strengthen our lives. Dennis Waitley. Chapter 15. Self-discipline. We all love to win, but how many people love to train? Mark Spitz, 7 gold medals in the 1972 Olympics. There has never ever been an undisciplined world champion. Our rewards are always directly proportional to our efforts. It sometimes takes years of training to develop abilities in the area in which we would like to achieve success. People say, "That person has such a talent," but they never look down the road to see how many hours have been spent training. If you want to master the skills that you have learned in this book, or if you want to master anything, you need self-discipline. Self-discipline is not self-deprivation. It is about raising your standards and going for and being more. Many people think that things are going to magically appear in their lives. Think about it. People want beautiful, healthy teeth, but they don't have the self-discipline to floss them. Is it expensive? Does it take a lot of time? Is it difficult to do? It is none of these. How can they expect to change any area of their lives if they can't even bring themselves to do that? So why don't people floss? I once read an article on CNN.com that stated, up to 59% of glaucoma patients regularly skip their eye drops, even though untreated glaucoma can lead to blindness. If you have glaucoma, you are going to lose your eyesight if you don't use your drops. Why don't people do it? People simply don't do it because they think that the future will be a better place than today, without doing anything to make it better. What do you want? What are you doing daily? If your daily actions are not moving you in the direction of what you want, then you will never get what you want. Common sense, isn't it? It is not that your goals are physically impossible. It is more that you lack the self-discipline to stick to them. There are 4 keys to creating more self-discipline in your life. And the first one is, 1, create a vision. Your inner vision and your energy are connected. If you wake up in the morning and focus on all the bad things that could possibly happen in a day, your energy level will be low. If you wake up and imagine all the exciting possibilities and focus on all the great things that you get to do, your energy level lifts. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. David Campbell said, "Discipline is remembering what you want." The more reasons you have to do something, the better your inner movie will be, and therefore the more energy you will create to do it. If your excuses are high and your reasons are low, you will have no discipline to start. If your reasons are high and your excuses are low, you will have lots of motives, and motives in action creates motivation. Always ask yourself, how badly do I want it? If you really, really want it, you will create a strong vision and you will have the self-discipline to do it. 2, make a decision. All change happens only when you make a true decision to change. When you make a true decision, you will not allow for any other possibility. Make a commitment to yourself that this is the way that you are going to live your life. For anything to happen in your life, you have to schedule it. Decide to make it part of your routine. 3, stop listening to your feelings. Elbert Hubbard said, "Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do, when you should do it, you feel like it or not." When people want to start a task that they have to complete and say something like, "I will do this tomorrow," a loop closes in their mind, and they are happy to continue without doing it, because they will do it tomorrow. The problem is that when tomorrow comes, the same loop just repeats itself. Or if you say, "I just don't feel like it," a loop closes because you have tricked yourself into thinking that you will do it when you do feel like it. These pictures and voices that we control create our feelings. If you want emotional mastery, learn to take control of these pictures, movies, and voices that you run in your mind. Some people say, I have to listen to my inner voice because it guides my intuition. Listen to your intuition or feelings when you are deciding to pass a truck on a busy road, making a massive decision, or whether you should climb into an elevator with a freaky-looking guy. But when you are following a discipline, these feelings only get in the way. If you have to floss your teeth, you don't have to consult your intuition. You just do it. When you have to exercise, you don't have to listen to your feelings. Just do it. William James said, "The more we struggle and debate, the more we reconsider and delay, the less likely we are to act." Schedule a time in the day for memory training and practice, whether you feel like it or not. 4. Daily action. If you want to develop a habit, then the only way to achieve this is by doing something daily. You have to review your new skill to renew it. Only by consistently practicing your discipline can you turn it into a skill. Most of the research that I have read says it takes 21 days to develop a new habit. In my experience, it takes a lot longer. Some people think that once the 21 days are up, the brain will then take over. Then after 21 days, they give up, waiting for their brain to do the rest. Self-discipline requires you to make a decision daily. Self-discipline requires you to start fresh every day. Every day is a new day. You don't have to practice this skill for the rest of your life, just for today. I believe that life does not reward idleness. If you put your arm in a sling for a week, you start to lose the use of many of your major muscles. Your brain is made of flesh and blood like the rest of your body. So if you use it, it will improve, and if you don't, you will lose it. The only way you get good at anything is through self-discipline. Remember, life only rewards action. Chapter 16, Review to Renew. You know as well as I do that it is entirely wrong to assume that any subject matter which we once learned and mastered will remain our mental property forever. Bruno First. It has been estimated that 2 years after leaving school, the average person only remembers 3 weeks' worth of lessons. Think about it in your own life. Do you still remember all those theorems? That means that after 12 years, all you have left is 3 weeks. The average person that passes a test today would never pass that same test 4 weeks later. Final exams are really final. In Spritzer's experiment, it was found that the average person who learns textbook material without memory methods remembers only the following. After 1 day, 54%. After 7 days, 35%. After 14 days, 21%. After 21 days, 19%. After 28 days, 18%. The above shows that the average student only remembers 18% of their work after a 28-day holiday. That means the lecturer or trainer only has 18% of the knowledge to build new knowledge onto. The average company or student loses 82% of the information, or 82 cents out of every training dollar after 28 days. Any training is a waste of time if there is not a process of review. Many people feel that they can never forget the information that they learned using the memory methods and systems. The memory methods make the learning process fun and more effective. They create such a strong impression, and it is so different to your mind that you have to remember it, and consequently, it sticks. The methods help to store the memory quickly for a medium term, but to make sure that the information remains in your mind, you need to review and recite it. The reason we review is to make the information more solid in our minds. The only way we can build on a memory is if we can remember it. Your memory is like a bank. The more you put into it, the more it grows. Review also helps you to create more long-term memories. Repetition or rote learning on its own, without the methods, is no fun. It takes long and can often result in an aversion to learning. Memorizing should be a pleasure. It should be more like a game. Reviewing when using the memory methods doesn't require a lot of time. It is just a process of thinking about it and making sure that the pictures are strong and that you can clearly see them. Then recite any information that you want to stick in your mind. I have found that if you review your information in a specified time frame, you increase recall. If you repeat it after 10 minutes of learning the information, it will remain in your memory for at least an hour. The first review should always be done backwards. Reviewing images backwards helps you to remember them more effectively. If you learn concepts in reverse, you create a new impression in your mind, and this makes information more outstanding. It just seems to make the memory so much stronger. Once you have done this, you review at longer and longer intervals. Review after 1 hour, then 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 2 months, 3 months, and then it should be in your memory forever. During the first 72-hour period, the knowledge transfers into a deeper, stronger memory. So, if you are using a route or journey system, after the first 72 hours, you will be able to reuse the journey for new information. However, if you have information that you want to keep forever, rather assign it its own route or system and review it often. Review takes discipline, but it keeps information fresh in your mind. It keeps it alive. It keeps it awake so that you can connect more information to that existing information. The more that you connect to that information, the stronger the information becomes. Your mind is the only computer in the world with this characteristic. The more you put into it, the more it will hold. The perfect way to learn is to make lots of firsts and lasts by having lots of breaks. Make your information outstanding. Make your own links using memory methods, and then you review it to keep it ready in your mind for new learning. No matter how many times you memorize something, you will have to start over from the beginning if you let yourself forget it. You have to spread out your revision over longer and longer periods of time. If you use it, you will strengthen the information and you will remember it. When you review, it helps you to think more about what you are remembering. By thinking about it, you begin to really understand it too. It is important to use this information when remembering names. Only if you review them are you going to remember them. If you use the information often, it acts as a review. You either use it or you lose it from your instant recall. You should always use the power of review to put a lid on your learning to prevent your learning from escaping. We have learned that the only way that you improve is to get rid of anything that is preventing you from improving. So we got rid of the blocks to your mind like excuses, limiting beliefs, and learning to single task. And then we became more willing to learn more. Then we learned how to improve through the C principle of imagination. We have learned the different memory methods, the link story method, memory art, the body and car method, the route or journey method, the PEG systems, the number code, and remembering names. These methods are only limited by your own imagination and level of self-discipline. We now also know how to review. Remember to review to renew. If you're hoping to harvest a life of great deeds, remember you first have to plant some great seeds. Dennis Waitley. You are the source of all your memories, and remembering is a choice. There is no magic when it comes to memory improvement. There is only management. Memory skills are an important tool in your self-improvement arsenal. I have given you many tools, but remember, batteries are not included. You need to provide the energy to make it work. The information you have received will change your life for the better. Use it. Memory training will enable you to create more certainty with information. Certainty fosters confidence and will give you a glimpse of your amazing ability. Brice Marden said, "The possibilities of thought training are infinite, its consequences eternal, and yet few take the pains to direct their thinking into channels that will do them good, but instead leave all to chance." Today, you have two choices. You can take the first option. You can leave it all to chance and do what you have always done, but you will get what you have always gotten. Or you can take the pains and decide today to take the second option. Do different to become different. Take these tools, make them your own, practice hard, and unleash the power of your memory. May you never forget what is worth remembering, nor ever remember what is best forgotten. Irish Blessing. Bibliography: Buzan T. 1995, Use Your Memory, London, BBC Books. 2. Buzan T. 1995, Use Your Head, London, BBC Books. 3. Buzan T. 2001, First London Thorsons. 4. Baddeley A. Eysenck M.W. Anderson M.C. 2009, Memory, USA Psychology Press. 5. Covey S. 1989, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Powerful Lessons in Personal Change, Britain, Simon & Schuster Limited. 6. Lorraine H. 1992, Improve Exam Results in 30 Days, London Thorsons. 7. Luria A. Art 1998, The Mind of the Mnemonist, London, Harvard University Press. 8. Maxwell J.C. 2004, Today Matters, 12 Daily Practices to Guarantee Tomorrow's Success, USA, Time Warner Book Group. 9. Robbins A. 1992, Awaken the Giant Within, London, Simon & Schuster Limited. 10. Worthen J. and Reed Hunt R. 2011, Mnemonology, Mnemonics for the 21st Century, USA, Psychology Press. 11. Medina J. 2008, Brain Rules, 12 Principles for Surviving and Thriving at Work, Home, and School, USA, Peer Press. 12. Lorraine H. 1957, How to Develop a Superpower Memory, New York, Frederick Fell. 13. K. 2001, Your Memory, How It Works and How to Improve It, Da Capo Press, 2nd edition. 14. Price I. 2011, The Activity Illusion, Matador. 15. Katie B. 2008, Loving What Is, How 4 Questions Can Change Your Life, Ebury Digital 16. Hall M. 2013, Movie Mind, USA, L. Michael Hall. 17. DeMartini J. 2008, The Riches Within, Your 7 Secret Treasures, USA, Hay House INC. 18. Gruneberg M. 1987, Linkword Language System, Italian, UK, Corgi Books. 19. First B. 1949, Stop Forgetting USA, Greenberg. The author. For over 20 years, Kevin Horsley has been analyzing the mind and memory and its capacity for brilliance. He is one of only a few people in the world to have received the title International Grandmaster of Memory. He is a World Memory Championship medalist and a 2-time world record holder for the Everest of Memory tests. Kevin is also an author of 4 books and the designer of a times table game with the Serious Games Institute at Northwest University Vol campus. Kevin is a professional speaker and assists organizations in improving their learning, motivation, creativity, and thinking. Learn more about Kevin at www.supermemory.co. One last thing. If you enjoyed this book or found it useful, I'd be very grateful if you'd post a short review on Amazon. Your support really does make a difference, and I read all the reviews personally, so I can get your feedback and make this book even better. If you'd like to leave a review, then all you need to do is click the review link on this book's page on Amazon here, /amzen.to/mt45dt. Thanks again for your support.